Hey, who's feeling a main event before the main event? Well, let's go have a look at this. A triple threat steel cage match involving the Mountie, the Big Boss Man, and one half of the Legends TV Tag Champions, Sergeant Slaughter.
And they've all already banged heads previously in singles matches in recent weeks. This ought to be good.
This next contest will be a three-way steel cage match, winnable by pinfall, submission, or by escaping the cage, one fall, 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, weighing 268 pounds, please stand for the Mountie.
And in those recent weeks, GB, only a handful of super loyal Canadians have even bothered to stand for the Mountie's arrival in the building. I had an assistant principal in middle school who got about as much respect. Well, let me just say at the outset that I'm already favoring the Sarge in this match, as he not only beat the Mountie before, but has won half of the Legends TV Tag Champions with the Patriot. Old Sarge has been cleaning house lately.
Well, Wally, while that's true, this is an entirely different dynamic. I mean, a steel cage match with three possible ways you can win. The Mountie's definitely got a little bit of an edge.
His opponent, from Cobb County, Georgia, weighing 305 pounds, here is the Big Boss Man.
And let's not ignore the fact that the Big Boss Man whooped on the Mountie in their last matchup. And, well, he's an old hand when it comes to steel cage matches and all sorts of outlandish stipulations. One might remember his pepper on a pole match with Al Snow during the Attitude Era.
Holy crap, yes. And the circumstances surrounding that match are even darker still.
Yes, they were. Poor Al Snow. Poor Pepper, for that matter.
Island, South Carolina, weighing 310 pounds, one half of the Legends TV Tag Champions, Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, Wally, you wasn't lying when you said Sarge has been cleaning house lately. He sure has. Him and the Patriot, the Legends TV Tag Champs, and not doing too badly on himself in singles competition either. But again, this is a steel cage match. You got three possible ways you can win it. You can pin, you can submit, you can make the climb out of the top of the cage. And any one of those is a distinct possibility with any of these guys. But the Sarge, well, like you say, he's been hot lately. Let's see how he fares in this three-way steel cage matchup.
Don't know who's gonna win this deal, but I will say it'll probably be a pinfall or tap-out win. Not suggesting these guys aren't athletic, far from it, but they're all big, heavy-set guys. Who would climb out of the cage doesn't favor too much.
You don't just walk out the door. What kind of BS is that?
All right, let me quit fooling around and get to work. There's the bell. The Mountie with a kick to the midsection to Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter takes him down, drops an elbow on the arm. The Big Boss Man waiting for a chance to cut in on the dance here. A goozle from the Mountie. He's got the Sarge up from a military press into a power slam. Boss Man countered with a hard left from the Mountie. Boss Man counters the Mountie with a hard right. Winds up the arm on the Mountie. The Mountie counters with an elbow to the face of the Boss Man. Misses with the clothesline. Sergeant Slaughter waiting for his opportunity. Headlock punch from the Boss Man to the Mountie. Look at this. They're both wearing the same striped pants. Huh. Okay. The Mountie with a clubbing blow to the chest of the Big Boss Man. Sergeant Slaughter tags him with a knee. The Mountie wound up, counters Sergeant Slaughter's neck breaker. Winds up the arm on Sarge. Top wrist lock. Look at this. The Big Boss Man trying to make his way out of the cage. This might be a short match after all. Sergeant Slaughter says, "Oh, no, you don't, son. Get back in here." Face first into the logo for the Boss Man. Sarge catches a right from the Mountie. The Mountie setting it up. And there's the mandible claw on the Sarge. And down he goes, the Boss Man, with a throat chop to the Mountie. The Mountie counters with a hard right. Sergeant Slaughter getting back up on his feet. A headbutt to the Boss Man from the Mountie. The Mountie catches a Russian leg sweep from the Sarge. Sergeant Slaughter trying to choke the life out of the Mountie. He can do that. There's no rules in a steel cage match. The Boss Man with an elbow to the top of the head of Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter counters with a hard left. Clothesline takes the Boss Man down. Sarge going right back after the Mountie again. Rib breaker. as the boss man makes his way back to a standing position. Counters Sarge with a right. Gets a hold of Sergeant Slaughter, winds up the arm behind him. Sarge with an elbow to the side of the head of the boss man. The Mountie takes down the Sarge momentarily. And it's a total slugfest now. Sergeant Slaughter, the Russian leg sweep on the boss man. A stomp from the Mountie to the boss man. The Mountie catches a shot from Sarge. A kick to the leg from Sergeant Slaughter. The Mountie counters with a kick of his own. Sarge counters with another kick. The Mountie takes down the Sarge as the boss man makes another attempt out of the cage. Both men going after him. Hard shot to the back from the Sarge. The boss man kicks him and backs him off. And he's still making his way up. Look at the Mountie going to try and get out too. The Mountie and Sarge colluding together to get the boss man back in here. The Mountie still trying to make his way out. Sarge says, nope, you ain't going nowhere. Sergeant Slaughter catches a nasty knee to the back from the Mountie. Boss man starting to slow down a little bit here. Sarge counters with a hard left to the midsection of the Mountie. And again, the big boss man trying to make his way out of the cage. Sergeant Slaughter right there to prevent it. Boss man with a kick to the Sarge. He's going to try and make it out, but nope, changes his mind. The Mountie catches the shot from Sarge. Boss man catches the shot from Sarge. He's up against the rope. Sergeant Slaughter drives him into the cage. Ow! Well, damn. The boss man, between the ropes and the cage, the Mountie hangs him up off the top rope, and he goes into the steel. Sarge trying to make his way out. The Mountie with the prevent Sergeant Slaughter with a kick to the Mountie. He's going to try and make it out. Nope, changes his mind. The Mountie's got him up. Slams him right back down. Boss man struggling to get to his feet as the Mountie tries to make his way out of the cage. The big boss man with a shot to the back of the Mountie slams him down to the center of the ring. Sarge with a right to the boss man. A knee to the Sarge from the boss man. A DDT to the Sarge from the boss man. The Mountie finally getting back up on his feet. Sergeant Slaughter with an uppercut on the boss man. Boss man whip to the far left corner. Sarge turns him around. And here we go, a series of hard shots from Sergeant Slaughter, and he just tosses the boss man to the other side of the ring. Kick to the midsection for the Mountie. The Mountie counters the elbow. Sarge counters the Mountie with a knee. Fails to connect with the elbow again. The Mountie misses with the clothesline. Wow, hard right from the Sarge turns him around as the big boss man one more time tries to make his way out of the cage. Realize he can't do it. A chop across the chest of the Sarge. Into a headlock punch. Sergeant Slaughter taking down the Mountie. Catches a knee from the boss man. A clothesline from the boss man. Down goes the Mountie. The Mountie rounded up by the throat by the big boss man, and Sergeant Slaughter trying to make his way out of the cage. The big boss man slams him down center ring. The Mountie with a kick to the midsection, a right, a left, an elbow, and a clothesline from the big boss man takes the Mountie down to the canvas as Sergeant Slaughter tries to make his way back to a standing position. And everybody's starting to slow down just a little bit here. A right from the boss man, a right from the Mountie, who is busted open and bleeding. So's the Sarge as he tries to make his way out of the cage again. The Mountie trying to stop him. Sarge changes his mind, goes back to business here. Man, a series of machine gun punches to the midsection that's going to destroy your lunch and your gastrointestinal tract. Boss man breaks up the pin. Sarge drives a knee into the leg of the big boss man. The Mountie's laid out, busted open and bleeding. Sarge is standing tall. The boss man with an arm drag to Sergeant Slaughter, misses with the running kick to the face. Sergeant Slaughter gets a hold of him, whips him into the corner. Gets him turned around. Boss man with a big time one-arm slam as the Mountie makes his way back to a standing position. A knee to the midsection. And a couple of hard kicks to the chest to the boss man from the Mountie as the Mountie tries to make his way out of the cage. Sergeant Slaughter, right there to spoil the party, drives the knee into the steel, delivers a punch. The Mountie counters with a kick. Comes back down. A headbutt to Sarge. Sarge counters, misses with the clothesline. Would have took his head off. Boss man nailed him with a clothesline from behind. The Mountie is down again. Boss man gets a hold of the Sarge, inverted DDT. Big boss man countered with a shoulder tackle from Sergeant Slaughter. The Mountie back up to a standing position, rakes the back of Sergeant Slaughter. The Mountie gets a hold of the Sarge, a headbutt to the shoulder. Look at this right here, and another. Boss man back up to a standing position here. A series of jabs. Look at this, the boss man hoisted on his own petard. The Mountie using his own finisher on him, and he's got the pin covered. Here we go. That is it. The Mountie has won this steel cage matchup by pinfall.
The time, 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, the Mountie.
The Canadians have done well for themselves tonight, with both Rick Martel and the Mountie picking up to pretty impressive wins. Yeah, sure, it's an upset to most of us, but not for the Mountie, who probably feels that this win was not only long overdue, but well earned too. And getting the 3-count pin on the boss man has got to feel even better.
In some ways, you had to expect this was gonna be how things played out, with the long-standing rivalry between the Mountie and the Big Boss Man bubbling to the surface again here tonight.
Tonight's main event when we come back after the break. Hey man, don't leave now. You've been here this long.